This first comedian coming on stage is not on the naughty list. She's one of my favorite people. She's wonderful. She's a little naughty. She's a little naughty sometimes, and that's okay because we're all human beings, right? I mean, ho, 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 you know what I'm saying? Please welcome to the stage Miss Steph Stigma, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, thanks so much, Santa. It's the best present I've had in years, you know. The best present being that Rodney Dangerfield lived on after his death as Santa Claus. I mean, that's better than going to heaven, in my opinion. I love it, but I don't love it as much as I love Japanese culture, because, bukkake. How crazy is that? A bunch of Japanese pilots just crashing their planes into Navy warships during World War I, that's how it went down, right? I don't know, I flunked out of sophomore history class because I was busy getting kamikazes onto the bleachers. You've been there, I get it. Did a study for history class. Anybody else ever eat a bunch of shrooms and start worrying it'll be yesterday tomorrow? Yeah, me neither. No, I was tripping balls at this hippie music festival the other day, and I had to go to the bathroom, so I just kind of stargazed my way into the nearest porta potty, and my first thought was like, wow, this is a really shitty time machine. It's like, what's this, the TARDIS? It's like Bill and Ted face the Taco Bell. And then it hit me like, oh wait, I'm in a time machine. I could just go back before I stumbled in this festering stink hole and decided to piss myself instead. And so I definitely have a drinking problem. I was almost abducted by aliens once, and they told me I was too drunk to get on the spaceship. First of all, rude. And then I was thinking about it oh, well, they really are more advanced than us, because, I've never had a human tell me I was too shit-faced to get probed against my will. A lot of people say that different alcohols affect them differently. Well, when I have a martini, I become a sophisticated chauvinist. When I drink tequila, I puke in Spanish. I think it's more the company you keep, than the liquor you're drinking. Because last time I went to a Catholic mass, I drank some red wine. I woke up a few hours later with a pre-stick in my mouth. I gotta wash out the taste. Sorry about that. I'm on disability, mostly because employers don't like it when your other personalities clock in for you. And I'll start to figure out something's wrong when I'm calling out sick on the first day and the boss is chewing me out over the phone, and it hits me like, oh shit, I've been drinking for 12 hours straight. I'm actually asleep on the toilet talking to my hand in the shape of a phone, and I haven't been gainfully employed since 2013. But there's a moral to that story, though. It's okay to have mental illness these days, just so long as you shove it underneath and think you're normalcy, hope your facade doesn't crack while you're at work and you end up having a panic attack buying the dumpster of a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Having epilepsy's fun, because when you're having sex, you can just lie there and it still looks like you're doing all the work. Sure, I speak for everybody here when I say there's nothing sexier than your partner losing all control of their motor functions. That's why one of my favorite pickup lines is to slip something in someone's drink when they're not looking. Okay, before I lose you on that, I've been roofied too, now the motherfucker lives in my house. He was trying to convince me the other day that cucumber Gatorade's the most refreshing Gatorade. And I'm like, hold on a second. Cucumbers are always refreshing, cut one up. Put those slices into a jug of ice water. Delicious. You know, cut one up. Put some slices on your eye while you're getting a facial at the spa. Relaxing. Or, you know, don't cut one up. Yeah, so, when I was a teenager, I fucked a gutter pump chick and I got crabs. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I meant to say, like, I had sex with a willfully homeless woman in the bathroom of a seafood restaurant and ended up with parasites in my pubic region. And this was like pre-internet. I was like 14. Like the birds and the bees talk I got was always wear rubber because your mom said she was on the pill and she lied and you popped out 8 months later. And like, Jesus, Dad, did you have to write that in my birthday card? So I'm like freaking out. I don't know what to do, you know, like. So I didn't do anything for a while, you know, and after a while I stopped looking at them so much as, you know, pubic lice as, you know, members of a lost tribe in the Amazon rainforest, and it dawned on me like, oh shit, I could just cut their house down. So I pull out the clickers and I go, problem solved, and you know, and that felt great, so you know, kept doing that. And everybody else jumped on the bandwagon because, you know, there's nothing sexier than your partner looking under 13, right? But I've been noticing lately, you know, the bush is starting to come back, you know, feminism. You know, like a real woman has bush so thick you need a Sherpa and a team of anthropologists just to find the clit. Like, take that, patriarchy. I don't have a clit personally. I have a dick that is gradually becoming harder and harder to see when I look down in the shower. I went to the gym to try and get in shape and you know, doing some cardio on the treadmill. You know, I had to try out that butterfly machine. You know, like opening. I don't know what it's called, but I did a lot of reps of those because that's sexy as fuck. And then I'm doing some power squats. You know, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling the burn. I'm sweating. I'm getting into it. And one of the employees comes up to me like, you know, you're going to hell, right? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Sir, this is a Hobby Lobby. You know, and honestly, like I don't really care what like God wants me to do, you know, because the universe told me to love everybody unconditionally, just so long as they're unconscious. Oh, Jesus. On Christmas, so I've been on estrogen for over 2 years now, and I've been noticing some differences. Like, first of all, like my TV watching habits have changed. Like, I've been binge watching Wife Swap and Forensic Files. And, turns out they're the same fucking show. It's just like one's the before, one's the after. Like the other change I noticed is, you know, like I just turned 40. My doctor told me, well, it's about that time. You need to get a prostate exam and a mammogram. It's like I do that at the same time because I'm all in. It's like, I struggle with, sometimes I think that I'm shitty at being a woman, though, you know, like, because when I came out of the closet, you know, all my girlfriends just gave me the clothes they didn't want out of their closets, and, you know, I haven't figured out how to dress myself since, you know, it's like, yeah, that's how women jump you into their gang, you know, they give you shitty fashion advice and tell you how good you look to your face. You know, like I try to wear high heels and, you know, like I feel about as coordinated as a newborn antelope that just got punched in the face. You know, nobody taught me how to do makeup, so I just run into a Hot Topic and go, at least I'm not closed for business once a month because I'm bleeding out of my hole. You know? Although I do often get drunk enough to eat expired gas station food, which pretty much has the same result. But what I always say, when life gives me a lemon, I cut a slit in it and I fuck it. Yeah, so I think somebody needs to invent an app that charges and fines white people every time they use the N-word, and then they take all that money and put it into a research foundation to make Lil Nas less gay. So you're consuming too much social media when you start dreaming of memes that don't make any sense. Like why is Gandalf getting hit in the face with that twisted tea can? It's like, you wake up screaming, there's just emojis coming out. It's like, oh shit, I'm still asleep. And you wake up for real and find out you get kicked off Facebook. Or like me, you're not funny enough to go to Facebook jail, so you're always trying to think of something edgy and relevant to post, like, oh, I see a lot of people posting pictures of the food before they eat it. But social media can be a tough place. I was in a political debate with this guy the other day, and he came at me pretty hard. He called me a libtard, tranny faggot, Satan-worshipping communist, and was like, hey, you, sir, have done your research. Thank you, I'm Steph Stigma.
She's a little naughty, but a lot of right, you know what I'm saying? A lot of hoes for her, you know what I'm saying? Ho, 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 ho.